Yeah.
What?
Episode 3, Talking
Word,
Crazy.
word.
My man A-Plus. My name is Tamal. What up, man?
What up, bro? How you feeling, brother? How's everything?
I'm maintaining, man. You know what I'm saying? I got the life wrapped out. Got one oar. Sometimes I got two. Sometimes I got my hands. But you know what I mean? We fucking still treading water. So good. How about you?
I can't complain more than anybody else who wants to hear that shit. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm out here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here just like you, and I'm grateful to be here. Some days are trickier than others, but I'm glad to be here for those days and not be here. So, all's well over here. You know, it could
how you feeling physically as far as the accident goes and shit?
I'm feeling much better, man. Like I really smacked up, man, and I tried to just hop back to regular life and just move how I was already moving. And my body said, "Nah, dude, chill. You actually had something happen to you, bro, and you lucky to be here." I wasn't even really tripping because I was like alive, and I was like, "Man, I'm lucky to be alive, bro." So I was just keeping it pushing. But then, turns out my injuries was a little bit worse than I was treating them. I'm still my wrist and stuff still messed up. My back is still a little messed up, but I took a little bit of time off, man. So I've been just healing, resting, chilling, building, and I feel much better now, man.
No, that's good. That's good. That's much better. Good to hear. Salute to everybody joining in. Episode 3, Talking Crazy. If you're not familiar, this is our 3rd episode, and this is just two friends chopping it up about mental health topics, man. I mean, just it's something that people in hip hop, people of color, people in general, men do not discuss enough. So, we decided to discuss it. And it was an organic way this came about. And so, we're excited to use our platforms to be discussing this stuff. So why don't you tell us what the show is not?
Yes, sir. Thank you. What we are not doctors in any shape, way, form, fashion, anything at all. We're not here to offer any medical advice, any psychiatric advice. We're not here to administer any drugs, write any prescriptions. We're not trying to tell you how you should be living in any kind of way. We are here topping it as two friends sharing our experiences. And we always like to say, take what you want and leave the rest. We're not trying to say we're the authoritarian figures on the things we're speaking. We're here to learn, we're here to share and go about our business, man, and just try to open up the conversation and remove some of the stigmas that have to do with mental health and mental self-awareness. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. No. Well put. And
thank you.
We're drawing from our experiences and we're here to share some stuff that we think may help, and we're here to learn some things as well. It's a structured build, so we're not like steady looking at the comments, but if we see something that applies or whatever, we'll add it in. If you do have a question that is related to the discussion, please use the questions feature below. That way we can pull it up and then we can kind of just, we can all see it right there. Big up Carl to the fist. You know what I'm saying? Where's Carlo? He's right here. Salute. Love you, OG.
What's up?
You know what I'm saying? Big up everybody in here. So tonight's topic, man, it's one that we could probably all relate to. Good, bad, positive. Anger.
Right? Yeah.
Anger. So
yeah, I can feel it building up in me right now.
Of course. It's a tough emotion, right? Because it can affect a lot of people adversely. It's one that we often don't know how to deal with. And there's a quote that I heard a while ago, about 7-8 years ago, and it's always stuck with me. And I'll read it. It kind of sums anger up. And it says, it's from Aristotle. It says, anybody can be angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and it's not easy. So there's a lot of factors with that, right? Getting it, like as far as all of that. So we're gonna get into all of that. So let's set it off, man. I mean, I wanted to share this kind of the thing that I feel most of us kind of get it wrong when dealing with anger. I want to put that out there. I feel like we really don't know how to. I feel like that quote kind of touches on that. So myself included.
Yeah, No, absolutely. I thought you was gonna keep going. I
No,
am
go.
I'm the number one motherfucker in my life getting anger wrong all the time. You know, because what I've come to learn is that, like, I don't know, I'm still learning, but uh anger, it's cool to have feelings. It's how we react off of the feelings that we do have. That's where myself and I guess most humans, the most sentient beings, have the trouble or have the adversity, or where we have to learn. Like, you know, one way people deal with it, they're like, some cultures or people or whatever, they're like, don't get angry. It's bad to get angry. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't get angry. If you get angry, you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Or like, don't let it bother you at all. Or like, there's all kind of different ways that people tell each other not to deal with anger. That people tell us culturally, tell other humans how to not deal with anger when it happens. What I've come to discover is that that's ultimately the wrong fucking thing. I have to feel it, and I have to, live that shit. Like, understand in the moment what that is, and all of those reasons in that Aristotle quote, and then react accordingly, so I don't like blow up my own life or hurt somebody or all of that shit. Well, that's all where all the adversity comes in for me with anger. Like, I'm not a very angry person at all. Personally, people who fuck off my coolness is the most thing that gets me angry. People who fuck off my peace. That's what really gets me
Yeah, you
angry
hate
most
that.
in
You
the
talk
world.
about that a lot. You hate that shit, huh?
I hate that shit, bro. I'm like, what the fuck? Can't you go be angry with people that you want to go be fuck around, fuckity fucks with? I just want to be happy over here chilling and eating these mangoes and smoking some weed and shit. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, just something cool, bro. Like, and so I'm like, yo, if you got choices on who to bring your anger to, and you're gonna bring it to somebody who clearly doesn't want the shit at all, just to get a rise out of them, well, I'll be that. In the past, I've been that person to show you what kind of anger you dealing with now. You brought it to me, and now now we dance. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so, that's been my thing with anger, and where I'm trying to, like, where I'm at in my life now is what I just said. Like, instead of blocking it out, instead of ignoring it, instead of like letting people get away with shit, instead of being too hard on other people, and I just kind of like take it in for what it is and try to interpret it, think about it, like, and all of this shit. I'm saying this shit. I'm horrible at this shit. This is what I'm trying to do. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do with my life, where I'm at this moment. But instead of just blasting out with my anger at all the time, because sometimes I'll be angry about other shit and get mad at some other shit. But anyway,
Important. Yep.
clearly I could talk about anger for a whole lot, bro. But that's what you
I
think.
mean, for me, it's something I've struggled with for the last, in pretty much my entire life. I mean, really, like, past, like, heavy, like 30 years. And I've read books, I've taken courses, seminars, I've gone on retreats, silent, you know what I mean? I get hot quick, like, because I don't have a lot of patience and tolerance. So, for shit, you know what I'm saying? I just don't. And I get hot quick, but and so, like, even when I've like been, again, we talked about being right but still being wrong. Like, I'll let off, like, somebody might be wrong, right? We're having a discussion. Big up brother Jay, X Clan Worldwide.
Hey, peace, brother.
Like, somebody might be wrong. I come at them with extra heat, like this missile. You know what I mean? And just take their head off. And it's like, I level up. You know what I mean? And so that's always been my problem. Like, so when you look at these things, right, there's all these factors. The when, right? When to be angry, maybe now in public might not be the right time. With whom, right? Maybe this person I might not want to get hot with right now. I might need this, this relationship might be something worth salvaging in the future. For the right purpose. Was it even worth it? And so, so for me, as I'm hopefully getting better with this shit, coming on age 46, I mean, like, I've tried to, like, look at triggers and shit like that. You know what I mean? Look at things that are set me off, and look at these factors. Is it worth it? Nah. Most times it's not. And or is it is this the right person? Or do they even, is like, but 9 times out of 10, that's the biggest thing I come back to. Is it worth it? Like, because I'm not gonna get into it with people. Like, now it's just like, nah, it's not worth it. Or it's like, oh, that's gonna come back on them. Like, you know what I mean? So as far as that. But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
So is anger a bad emotion?
Oh, wow. I don't think it's a bad emotion necessarily. I don't think there's any bad emotions because emotions are just they're things that happen to us. I think the bad part is how we react. You know, I don't. It'd be hard pressed for me to say there's no that any emotion is something that shouldn't happen because the mere fact it happens to you, you know, it's something that happens. It's like you can't really get around it. You know, but how with me and again, you know, we're always talking about our own opinions. With me, it's basically how I respond. And you kind of you hit the head on the nail a little bit when you were saying something at the end of what you were saying to the effect of, well, let me translate it for me. Like, I don't really get angry at shit. Like, once I get to the point you're talking about, where is it worth it? Does it even fucking matter? You know what I'm saying? Usually, if I'm angry about it in any way, it's because the root of it mattered to me at some point. For instance, the people who could get me angry, that could really get me angry in life, people closest to me. Why? Because like people I don't know, I'm not that emotionally invested to even really trip. I'm really more open just to take it in with a grain of salt. With a you know, benefit of the doubt kind of grain of salt. Like, you know, let me see what they're talking about. But when it's people like anyone close to me that kind of, you know, you think you're cool and they kind of know the boundaries. So I'm like, if it's you fucking with me like this is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like to pretend like this is normal in any way, like it's ridiculous. Now we have a problem, and I can get angry there. But to your point, to your question, is it a bad emotion? No, I think ignoring it is just as destructive as not being able to control it when you act on it. But
exactly. We want to talk about that too. Yep.
Yeah. I think it's just like how we react to any emotion. You know, but specifically anger. You know, you react hot to anger. That shit could be life or death, way quicker than reacting overly happy to some joy. You know what I'm saying? Or
right. Like Chi Ali
you know.
Chi Ali went to jail for mad long because he killed a nigga over some tapes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like the homie from the lynch mob from Ice Cube crew, like he got into a fight at the club and got bested and came back and killed the motherfucker, like allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Like and like literally in my lifetime growing up, a lot of people I know got killed like that. Like, somebody was mad because they got scrapped on. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a classic example of when reacting poorly with poor emotional intelligence from anger with violence. You know, so how we react to it, man, is and you know that goes into cultural shit. Like you go into like or social economic shit. Like, you know, people reacting off of anger in the hood is a little bit different than an argument about the trash can in the burbs, you know what I'm saying? Or the parking space, you know what I mean?
Right.
You about to say?
No, what I wanted to say was that like I like because you touched a little bit on like the root of anger, and like I think it's important a lot of times to look at why we're mad. Like, because when I do that, I mean, and one thing that I found, and I read about it, and then once I read about it, I started to see it was true. More often than not, when I'm angry, it's because I'm hurt. Really, like that's usually the root. My feelings are hurt. I felt disrespected, but I'm hurt, or I felt like it's like it wasn't because somebody came at me with a knife, you know what I mean, or came and attacked my family. It's usually because somehow somebody wounded me mentally or emotionally, you know what I mean, or I felt wounded, or, you know what I'm saying. That's how I felt. I mean, maybe they didn't do anything, but I felt like I was wounded, like as a you know. And I feel like the root of anger a lot of times. When I peel away the onion, which is a scary thing to do sometimes, right? When I peel it all away, I'm
sometimes.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, continue.
I look at it, I'm like, shit. I was just kind of in my feelings right there. You know what I mean? I felt a little disrespected. I felt like I should have gotten the recognition instead of so and so or this or that. So then I get in the mood, right? So here's peep how the anger travels. I've dissected this because I had this issue, yo. So like, I feel get a little salty at work. Somebody fucking try to play me in an email. So boom, that seed is planted. Like, all right, fuck these niggas, but I can't air nobody out at work. So I'm driving home. Fuck y'all niggas on the way home, right? So whoever like fucking in the whip, get home, wifey come home. I'm in a mood. but I just carried this shit like a fucking boulder on my back all the way home. You know what I mean? So, I'm a little going all over the place, but I did want to just say that was the point I was trying to make, that as far as the root being, like, a lot of times being hurt, feeling hurt.
Well, without a doubt, I agree 100%. Most of the times when someone is angry, like angry is different than feeling threatened. If you feel like your life is in danger, like you got an instinctive fight or flight, that's a whole different feeling than angry. Angry is definitely some ego butt hurt shit. I think somebody was touching on it in the comments. We try not, I can't help but see them. It definitely is about self-control, emotional self-control. Now, throwing it around like that's the easiest thing to do in the world, like that's just some frivolous shit, because self-control is the chief problem with human beings on this fucking planet. So let's not all get on no high horse shit that we all know how to do this shit. But no. I'm not talking.
We're just talking about the idea.
I'm not talking. I'm not talking about me and you, bro. I just again, I felt a way about a comment I've seen. I just want to set the record straight. You know what I'm saying? It's ultimately about how we can, what tools we are given and what tools we earn throughout life on how to, and lessons we learn on how to control that shit. Now, I mean, that's a whole bigger conversation when you're talking about people of color, when you're talking about minorities, when you're talking about socioeconomic classes, when you're talking about cultural bullshit that been passed down for generations. It all inhibits our ability to react as good as we can with emotional self-control when it comes to anger. I mean, look at what we've been through. Like, I feel anger in my fucking blood, bro. I feel it in my DNA sometimes. I swear to goodness. I know Brother Jay could attest to that shit. I heard him rapping about that when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, a teenager, not a kid. But yeah, like, so it's really tricky navigating the boat called anger over this ocean of the bullshit, this world we live in. You know what I'm saying? But it's a trip that we could have these kind of conversations about it, that we're literally addressing the thing that we feel so deeply about. We could be angry about whatever it is, but anger is what we have in common here, that is a unifying factor in this conversation. And it's cool to be able to talk about it with like smiles and smirks and in a place to actually, I actually, feel kind of the rush of it without even actually feeling it right now, just talking about that shit. I'm like, I hate that shit, bro. You know what I'm talking about? So it's dope. It's dope to be here, to be here in a safe place and be able to address it. It's dope.
Right. No, it is, Joe, and it's important. I mean, because nobody really talks about this, right? I mean, like you don't sit down and have conversations about anger, like, you know what I mean? And so I wanted to talk about two types of people, right? So the first one's really familiar. We're gonna get to that, and the second one's also a little less talked about, but when we get to that second person, we're going to see we kind of know that person too. So the first person is, we're just going to talk about the different aspects of this. The first person is the person that's just always angry or holds on. Well, I should say this, because I fit in this first category. Can hold on to anger for a long time. Like, I'll drag some shit out forever. Like, I'll dig in. I can dig in for like, if you want to beef, we can beef. Like, I could dig in. So, and the person that may be more prone to like revenge and shit and getting back at somebody. So I'm in that first category, the person that might stay angry longer. And that person's a destructive person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could
Right?
be dangerous, could be destructive. But I get it 100%.
Yeah. So,
continue.
No, I was just say that person. I mean, I've been destructive to myself, and then destructive to others as well. So I wanted to point that out, like, as far as like the person stay angry. To talk about, like, if somebody point out solutions. We're only 22 minutes in the show, Jess. So maybe if you stick around, then you will get to hear the solutions, and we can talk about that too. So as far as like that person staying angry, like, have you ever been in a situation where like you're around someone who's like who's consistently angry?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Like, but you have these two different kind of people here. But I'm just for some context, I'm the kind of person that, like, I don't walk around angry at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm angry about anything, like it's really sourced. It's something on the table that I can describe to you what happened. People gonna look at my face and they're gonna be like, "Yo, what's wrong, please?" Because they're gonna look at my face. So that's just to set up my response, right?
Right.
I definitely know motherfuckers who sit around, and I know people who walk around angry all the time, but don't acknowledge that they're angry, and just be spouting out this negative shit all the time, but with like a real just over the level anger, not enough to make nobody just feel offended just yet, but just enough to giggle about, enough to joke about and push off, but just like a constant level of mad at everything shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just a personality trait, I guess. But I don't like that shit, right? So I'll tolerate that shit as long as it don't get to the level to where like I'm the third person in here that I'm like, listen, I'm not angry at all. If you angry about something, we can talk about that shit. We need to talk about that. If you need to talk to me about it, let's do it. If it's me helping or if I'm the source, let's just talk about it. Other than that, if you ain't trying to talk about it, don't bring that shit up and let's eat these mangoes. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I am. Now, I do know motherfuckers who like really don't even, I'm not sure if they know that they angry, but they just sit around and just say fucked up shit all day. Like every comment that come out their mouth is just like some negative shit. You know what I'm saying? I and personally, I can't, at this level in my life, I can't even be around that shit. But I'm saying I've been around people like that. Yeah, I'm in my 40s now. Like if I'm around that shit, I'm just as miserable as the person saying that shit, right? But yeah, to answer your question, I definitely have known people in my life that are just like, bro, like you just, like how do you not know that you could be the source of all your unhappiness because that's all you spouting? You know what I'm saying? But
right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because you were saying, well, two things I want to touch on. You said, like, if they, they're around you and stuff, like, it's like we can talk about it, or, like you said, we eat these mangoes. Or the third option is get the fuck out. Like get away from me. Like, take that shit somewhere else. And that's where I'm at.
That's where I'm telling you, I'm the same way. If we not talking about it, do that. I'm with you. I'm 100%. Because otherwise, yeah. Anyway,
because here's the thing also I was going to say.
I'm right there with you.
They want to bring, a lot of times, and there's a lot of cliche sayings, and there's cliches because a lot of times they make sense. And I always say, like, people didn't say them the whole time forever if they didn't actually make sense. So misery loves company. That was a fucking fact. And
it is.
They will try to drag you into their fucked up world. Like, yo, I'm dealing with my own shit, B. Like, I don't want your shit too. So they love. So that's the energy vampire shit where that
and they'll
takes you in.
They'll be tripping off you if you got a problem with that. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll be like, nah, I'm not fucking with that bullshit. And they'll be like, oh, this motherfucker right here. Like, whoa, bro, people like that. And I'm saying, oh my God, people like that get on my damn nerves, bro. But anyway, I digress. You were saying? I was just chiming in because I'm like, I'm reading your comments.
We just chopping it up. It ain't nothing up. We all big up West Coast Cam. Big up.
Peace. Oh, Cam, my brother.
We just chopping it up, man. The whole motherfucking big up everybody in here rocking out. So we're going back and forth. It ain't nothing. So yeah, we're talking, because right now we're talking about that person that just kind of takes their anger and in fact, you kind of use it almost as a weapon. I mean, because that can be done as well. I mean, like, it's I've done that shit. Like, where, like, again, because I level it up, and then the person's like, "Oh shit," and I'm like, "See, like, I fucking told you." But like,
see now, you came over here. You came over here with that anger to a motherfucker who didn't want it, and now that when I sent you back on that shit, now you got a problem. How does this make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It make it much about as much sense as you bringing that bullshit to me in the first place.
Exactly. So, and in those cases, I mean, like, again, like what we said, anger's not a bad thing. You got to stand up for yourself, and you got to, you got to hold shit down when you need to hold it down. So that's not anger. That's being, you know what I'm saying, smart about the shit. So let's get into person number two.
Okay.
Person two is talked about less often, but equally important. This is the person that may not allow themselves to be angry, or pretend like they're not angry, right? And they keep that shit in forever and ever and ever and ever. Then it finally comes out in some fucked up way. and then you didn't, but nobody knew they was mad. Didn't say nothing to nobody. But they trying to pretend that they not mad the whole time, psyching themselves out, keeping that shit in forever. That is not good either. Or simultaneously, they might be doing the passive aggressive shit. Can't really get it out, but they all fucked up about something. Can't talk about it. Won't talk about it. You ask them about it, they won't say shit. So
yeah,
that's the second person that can't
Word.
that keeps it all in.
Yeah, that shit is poisonous, toxic, and dangerous to do for that person or any person, whether it be me or you or anyone out there in our lives. Holding in that shit, like, I mean, it's hard to tell a young person stuff, and you might not have been able to say get certain points across to me when I was younger, especially stuff like this, like holding that shit in or like da 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 da. Like, but I know as a person who doesn't really hold shit in, and I kind of just let that shit go because I don't like to hold it in. The times I have held shit back for whatever reason has been extremely self-damaging and self-toxificationist, or whatever the word may be, self-toxifying. You know what I mean? Like mad poisonous to self. You know, and what it does is it builds resentment. You know, you hold some shit back and you don't get it out on the table. You start developing resentments for a motherfucker that you don't even know if they rooted in it in reality or not. That's why I always like to just get shit out in the open. But I don't claim to be perfect in any way. And the times I have held shit back, yeah, I know people who are like really like believe they own not madness, and they clearly are angry and miserable about mad shit. And you know, as life goes on and the older you get, bro, like that shit pops it. That shit does that. The youth and vigor of pride and ego that we have when we're younger, like that shit, that veil. I mean, that veil gets lifted when you get older, man. And when you have more experiences, you start to weigh priorities in your life. You just deciding what kind of spirit you actually are going to be and what's your trajectory. Like holding in bullshit like that, man, is personally toxic. I know people who I've literally seen people hold in like deep resentments for motherfuckers and pretend like they didn't for years and years and years and years. And then one day that like the hate just comes out. Like, and no one was none the wiser that this motherfucker had all this hatred in their heart. And it's paralyzing when you see the motherfucker, like it's like being under a fucking spell. You know what I'm saying? You see them, they're like anger, hate, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, fuck, you know, I'm like, we talking crazy, you know what I'm saying? That's like beyond crazy. That's short circuit, man. So yeah, you know what I mean? A pet peeve of mine, bro, I swear to goodness, I can't stand passive aggressive people. I think that's like if I'm just gonna talk and in my non-perfect form, I think that's the pussiest shit in the world. I mean, I think being that way, like people who think that being like that way is slick, I think that shit is extreme cowardice and extreme pussy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, pardon my language. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to offend nobody. I think that's real coward business. So that was just to circle back because, you know, I could get on a tangent when I talk about these kind of people that I don't like. And again, like I don't like when I do any of these things either. That's why I really I use my life and my spirit energy to as much as I can. I just gotta say I'm not perfect when I'm criticizing these motherfuckers that I don't like. I'm saying that for anybody listening, like so it doesn't sound like I'm like thinking I'm the king of the hill in this shit. I'm just talking about bullshit people I don't like. You know what I mean?
We're discussing the quality. I mean, the quality.
Yeah. Thank you.
The quality
that's why I like the tandem.
Yeah, the quality in itself is shit. And being passive aggressive with people is absolute fucked up fuckery. And I respect the person. That's why I always say, like, I respect the like straight up racist over the slick HR motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Word every time.
Come with it.
Every
like
time.
I like let's at least I know what the fuck it is. Joe. Like, so if you're gonna be, because here's what I say about shit. Unless you tell me, it does not exist. Because I don't have the time nor the energy to try to figure out what's going on in your fucking head. I'm too busy trying to figure out what's going on in my head. So I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying, sort your life out either. So if you don't tell me we don't have a problem, we don't have a problem. Even if I know it's fucked up and I move different, I'm just going to be like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I know, I may adjust some shit, but I'm going to continue like, yo, we good. Like,
yeah.
Like, fuck it, man, because, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, be upfront, man. You know what I'm saying? Like be up front. Like
Yeah, yeah.
whatever
I
it
mean,
is.
that's I mean, this turns out to be one of the things that, I mean, in my personal experience in life, this turns out to be one of the things that is the most difficult thing for people to do. Um, and I mean, I've met tens of thousands of maybe hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know, you know, and I'm not trying to say the number matters. I'm just trying to say a large majority of people that I met in my life, this is a big challenge. Like just trying to just say what the fuck you mean. You know what I'm saying?
Completely foreign
Like
concept.
just say it for fucking real. And again, without anger, because anyway, that's a whole
No,
nother
it's
story.
hard. It's I
Yeah,
mean for a
it's
lot of
difficult.
people, for a
It's hard
lot
for
of
me as
people, that's
well,
a,
but
yo,
you know.
it's a foreign concept, yo, and it's been hard for me in times. I mean, like, and a lot of people also have a challenge with somebody who is straightforward, and who does share when
Well,
they're.
yeah, that's a problem. I've as a straightforward person, it breeds a lot of resentment. When you're a kid and you straightforward, you know, I didn't really understand that rubbed certain people wrong until I was fully an adult. It's like, you got a problem with that? Actually,
You're supposed
what's
to
wrong?
lie.
What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking like being straightforward is the problem. I'm still coming to grips with that as a 40-odd-year-old person. You know what I'm saying? 47-year-old person. Like, yo, like, how do I deal with motherfuckers who be like, people don't even be like he's too straight up. It manifests as the dissent or whatever, the feeling manifests itself in different ways and different modes. It's never like, dude, you're too straightforward and it bothers me and because of, you know, like it's crazy, right? It's baffling to me even how less and less people I meet like that. You know what I'm saying? Or less and less I understand people are like that as I get older. You know,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I really thought it was like the whole world kind of tells you that that's the way to be, even though you find out it's all lies. When you just all the propaganda you hear your whole life, well, I did my whole life. It's like free speech, say your mind, speak your shit, da 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 da. I grew up busting real raps, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out as an adult, 90% of motherfucker is faking all the bullshit. And I'm not talking about just rappers. I'm talking about life. Motherfuckers really just, I mean, it's whole cities to where that's the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, just be on some fake shit. You do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. This shit is like, bro, this shit is like some Twilight Zone shit sometimes, bro. I'm like, yo,
it is.
people mad at straightforward people. See, well,
No,
I guess
it's like you're too. They're saying, okay, you're too straightforward. No, you're too deceptive, motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? You're too.
I'm rattling your deception.
Like that's what I'm saying. Oh, like you feel uncomfortable because like I'm not about the bullshit, and that because everybody about the bullshit. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying. That's how they move, man. So you know, like that's the funny thing, you know. So, yo, the last section. One of the things I wanted to say though was that being angry or having some trauma or like having a legitimate reason to be angry does not give you the right to be a fucking asshole to people. Like, I just wanted to like, just always act like whatever emotion you're dealing with doesn't give you the right to be an asshole to anybody, yo. Like, and a lot of times I've heard people actually say like, I'm like, I have a right to be this angry, like, or just, but like not to be this angry, but also to be a dick to everybody else that's around, like just shitting on people that's helping them and shit. Like I've seen that, like, and I'm like, you don't have that right to just dookie all over everybody that's in your corner because you're mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nah, 100% I agree. I mean, my worst days have that where I haven't been at my best and where I've been like not cool to anybody have all been times I was angry. All the worst shit I've ever done in my life, all of it, most of it has been like, let's say a cool 95% of that shit has all been done under the spell of anger, the self spell of anger. You know, like literally, like all the way from like, you know, like fucking suppressing shit, like suppressing anger, like literally like getting too drunk in anger and drinking and suppressing your anger to not feel the shit. And then when you're not drunk, it just manifests its way in life and shit. And oh my goodness, yeah. So to be a fallible human and not be perfect, yeah. I would say all of my bad behavior has all come somehow under the guise of anger, or certainly under the guise of some level of fear. And I believe anger is a definitely an offshoot of that. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, and someone
You know.
someone mentioned frustration being an off, like there's, and it has a lot of branches, right? Like it has a
Yeah.
lot of triggers. Fear can
I
trigger
think
that.
I think fear is the main one, and all the other ones are is under it like an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? I think all of the negative shits, including anger, including like just I think anything. This is just my opinion, and it's a working theory. You know what I'm saying? I don't subscribe to it like it's a fucking law. But in my brain, I've been thinking about this for mad years, like my whole life, really. Everything negative that I could think of, as far as like feelings and actions and all of that shit, all comes from fear. You know, I can't think of one thing that's on that bullshit that isn't somehow under the umbrella or the bracket or the main group of fear. You know what I mean? And anger certainly being a different, not one that people often classify with fear, but fear nonetheless, in my opinion.
Right. And I wanted to kind of go back to person too who keeps the anger in, because we're kind of shitting on that person, but it's also it's unhealthy for you and for me and whoever is doing it. Like when I have it's a, forget other people at that time. I mean, like even like it's a bad thing to do for us. Like it's very destructive to keep shit in, to keep really negative emotions in for a long period of time. It always turns out bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, dude, growing up as a kid, when I became an adult, and even right before I became an adult, when I got to the point to where I got to start saying shit, like I got to be like, nah, that's bullshit. You know, when when you're a kid and growing up, you can't say nothing about the shit, or at least I couldn't. You could think shit, but you can't say nothing about the shit happening around you, what elders are saying to you, and this and this and that. Once I got to the age of like I could say something, it all came out bad. It all came out like, man, fuck that shit. That is some bullshit. You know that's some bullshit. Get that bullshit. I'm too old for this shit now. I'm 15 already, my nigga. Fuck that shit. Get your bullshit. Nah. You know, I used to get in trouble for coming to school and bringing books to school. You know, I'm listening to hip hop and shit, and I'm bringing like They Came Before Columbus to my history class and shit. I'm just disrupting the class and shit because I'm like, this is live. This is some bullshit. You supposed to be the teacher. Like, so I mean, I say that to frame that as soon as I got able to say fuck y'all bullshit, that I don't have to buy that bullshit no more, I was saying it. And that lasted for mad years, you know, up until like, you know, recent times of just learning how to like kind of say it with a little bit, you know, a little bit more grace. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
because
Because of what you said though, because of like holding that shit in for all my formative years and being like, oh, all of this bullshit, and then when I'm like, nah, I'm not buying it, it doesn't come out in a productive way. It just comes out as like, man, fuck that shit, fuck what you're talking about, I'm not fucking with it. And so yeah, I said that in response to like holding some, like it reminded me as a kid, like as soon as I was able to say like, nah, you older than me, but that's bullshit, I've been saying it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I did not learn that that's not a cool way to say that shit because I was a kid and didn't know any other way. It didn't have any other tools. It wasn't taught any other way, but to express that to people who were clearly telling you some.
In the end, though, just to bring it back, though,
You,
it's still fuck your bullshit. But like you said, as we're older, we just do it in a different way and say it, you know. But it's still fuck your bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just we did, you know, you kind of learn when to turn that on and to turn it off, and that goes back to the quote of like, you know, the right time, the right this, the right everything. You know what I mean?
What does it say? Anybody can become angry.
To
be angry with the right person to the right degree at the right time for the right purpose and in the right way. Whew, man.
Think about that.
Yeah, and by the time, you know what, and one thing I learned, and you only learn this by getting older, when you think about the right way to do shit, you're usually not as angry as you were when it first popped. You know what I'm saying? If I have this, you might still be angry, but not angry to the point to where, I'm going to rip somebody's head off angry. It's like, if you angry and start thinking about shit, it's more focused. It becomes like more, what's a positive word? More conducive to solution rather than blowing up the spot. Because if you really got it, if you angry and then you think about all these things, is it the right person? Am I at the right level of anger? Is it the right time for me to angry? Is it the right purpose? And am I displaying it in the right way? Like literally, it's not like this bolstering anger no more. It's like, listen, I got to talk to you about this, brother. And this is, hey, it's actually something conducive to a solution just by the anger gets reduced just by the mere act of thinking it through. You know what I'm saying?
It's a really
which
good.
is something we're not conditioned to do that in this society we live in. Not by our old generations and not by the actual, fucking, society, the government we have now. Clearly not them.
We keep it in, or we either keep it in, or we go off on people. It's usually one or the other, right? I mean,
there's a place for each. There's a place for each response we take too, right?
Yeah. I mean, so it's a really good quote, man, and it has it's a great checklist to and if you go through that checklist, a lot of times, I mean, we probably feel like, this ain't the right thing. So, let's get into some of the things we do when we're angry. What do you do? Is there? I mean, like you said, and I can share some things after too, because I mean, like I said, I deal with more of the stupid shit. Then I get mad because I'm mad. Should be bugged out, B.
You get mad because you mad. You know what? That doesn't really happen to me a lot, but I get it. Maybe it does, and I haven't noticed it yet. Mad because I'm mad. I haven't
in a while. I mean, I've like I said, I've worked on this for a while. But yeah, I mean, there was times where I'd be hot, not really know what I was upset about, and then be upset because I knew I shouldn't be upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So
I get that, man. I definitely get that. I mean, I get resentments from motherfuckers who maybe I feel a resentment if I'm chilling and somebody I'm cool with or I'm close with, or maybe my girlfriend or something or a homie or something, blows my buzz on some real fuck shit. They're like, yo, I'm like, why are you even doing that? It could turn into resentment in my head. Like, this motherfucker, man, I was over here chilling. I know that's not right, but we just being honest. And one of the things I do is how you what you say, what to say, time out, take a time out, a personal chill. A lot of times for me, that's burning some herb, bro. I'm like, listen, let me just step away from this situation. And I swear to goodness, a lot of times when I get heated and stuff, I literally be like, let me just step over here where I could be by myself for a second and blow this tree real quick and get into a calm place. You know what I'm saying? Where I could just address things in a more rational, with a more rational demeanor. So yeah, that a timeout is one tool that works for me with anger. How about yourself, brother?
I've definitely the timeout, whether it's with or without weed. I mean, sometimes I need to step the fuck back, and I tell people I've tried to tell people yo, I need to step the fuck back because of you. I mean, because of me, not because of you. I'm trying to keep you safe, from hearing my shit. So let me be. You know
I don't want. I don't want to get to where my anger is how we said how anger turns into a weapon. You get hurt and shit, and then you hurt back with some words. I get disappointed in myself when I get caught in that with anybody. If somebody gets me so angry that now I'm angry back at them, shooting darts and just being a person that I don't like and doing things I don't respect. I don't even. I get upset with myself and disappointed with myself. So that backup is a good thing. That takes a while to develop too, because sometimes you just in the situations and you just react before you even know how to back up from the shit.
Of course. I mean, that's the thing too with anger. It's a very it can be unstable. You know what I mean? Because a lot of that shit that's done, we talked about killing, whatever is done. It's quick reactionary shit, right? And so the time out, taking a step back, man. Look at this shit. Whatever it is, take a walk. A lot of times for me, do something physical. You know what I mean? But like, I really have to remove myself from the situation, and I try not to, really try not to engage too, just in general. Like, if it's gonna get hectic, I try to, it's about recognizing it. Though I was gonna say on here, recognizing like triggers,
Yeah.
like, like when shit's starting to get hot, that's when you start to. It's like, what do they say? Like, you're not dehydrated. You don't drink water once you're dehydrated. You drink water so you don't become dehydrated. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it's like recognizing the trigger. So eating is a big thing for me. Like, not being hungry is a big trigger for like the releasing the Kraken, Like, if I'm,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's I become
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. I'm not cool with hunger either. Like, especially like it came out really bad when I was a young father. You know what I'm saying? When I'd
Mm.
have my kid, and it, like I would just get this this real overwhelmingly uh overly protective, like something bad is happening with if my kid was ever hungry, and I never knew why. Like when like it was just a weird thing that didn't really come out to me really until I didn't become a father till I was 27, and so I would have my kid a lot. Like me and his mom were really cool, and so I'd have him a lot. And I don't know, out of nowhere, whenever my kid was hungry, or whenever I was going anywhere with him in the car and had to take the stroller and all the stuff, I'd always have to make sure that it was planned out when he was going to get his food, because I would get this overwhelming anxiety of, of me and him being hungry. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's mad weird. I've never told nobody that until just now. I swear to goodness, based off of what you responding to
Oh
what you
well.
just said. Anyway, that came. I literally have never talked about that. I'm pretty sure my sister and my mom have noticed that though, because they helped me raise him. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, that caught me off guard. See, this like therapy, bro.
Yeah, no, this is what we said.
Word.
I don't know if you said it in the beginning, but like, this is important for us too. Like, whether there was people on here or not, I mean, like, this is important just to talk about this stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, the eating though, for me, it's like, so I have to plan ahead. Like, if I'm going somewhere, I gotta know where, like, if I'm gonna have food with me, I'll bring like fruit, I'll bring shit with me, or Cliff Bar. I used to be better with it. Or I'll make sure there's something around that I can get, like, because I have to eat. So like, because
Hey, you know what, bro? On that exact same note, my I don't know if you met him, my brother DJ Lex, longtime DJ for the Souls of Mischief. He can attest to this. Like on the road, when we're on tour, I have to have food at the hotel for when we get done performing, or else I'm like mad angry and body feel like it's shutting down. And one day when he first started going on tour with us, like he ate my leftovers. I had some, so we ate dinner and stuff, then went to the hotel, left my shit at the hotel. It was his first time rolling with us on the road. Went and did the show, came back, and then I came back to the hotel room, I guess mad late, and wanted to eat my food, and it was gone. And he ate my shit. And I just completely like blew up on him, like, what the fuck? Oh my God, when you eat my food? Blah, blah, blah. And motherfuckers was like, and then he realized the next day, he was like, blood, don't fuck with A-Plus food, man. You can't eat nobody food on the road. But again, I didn't remember that till you just said that. But like on tour, because the thing about it is when you're on the road, you don't know when you're gonna get food. So when you get it and you got some food that you know that you're gonna eat, you're like, aha, I have that taken care of. So when I come in here at 2:00 in the morning and my body on E and I'm about to pass out, I'm gonna have that grub and shit. And yeah, it wasn't there. So yeah, again, talking to you is bringing this shit out, bro. Like I don't even be thinking about this shit.
it's like that's like the equivalent of getting like some power pellets or something on like in a video game, or like some special jewel, and you had it to use for later and some shit. You know what I'm saying? Some special
Yeah.
like extra man and shit. And he took your extra man, yo. Like, yeah, I'd be hot, yo. I'd be hot too, man. I would have been hot. I'm got hot just thinking about that shit, because I know what that's like, and so that's what I'm saying. When you saw the food, you got the food, you knew you had to get something for later or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, damn, yeah, food can be food's critical, man. Gotta eat, gotta stay hydrated. But heat is another one for some people. Like, as far as like whatever, or cold, watch your body temperature. Like certain things that trigger people that we don't even know about. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
you don't really realize until you're in your body for a long period of time. You realize, oh yeah, every time I get irritable, I'm always hot, or it's like it's because I'm
Yo,
fucking stuffy or some shit. Like and you can't breathe and you feel like and then people around you talk, whatever. You don't know. I mean, there's different things, that set people off. So this is my point. Is it's important
triggers.
to recognize them shits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Like, I guess that's like that's like you said it a few times. It's a super important point to this whole thing. Is recognizing the triggers because I didn't even understand anything about triggers at all until I was in my 30s. That those were even a thing, and actually getting a real handle on them is into my 40s. Like real deal, real good handle on targeting and not suppressing, but dealing with triggers. Even I mean, it's just not something that your mind even thinks that you need to know about when you're young and when you're 20s and 30, and teens and shit. But yeah, all of this dealing with any emotion, especially anger, I guess is about identifying the triggers. And yeah, that shit ain't easy, bro. There's a lot of them, man.
Yeah, and we don't want to deal with that shit when we're young, man. I mean, it's let's think about it. We were all fucking too cool for school. Could nobody fuck with us? We thought we was tough shit. I mean, we wasn't trying to hear that shit. I mean, so you know, I mean, I
real
didn't feel like
real
a
real.
fucking I didn't feel like an adult until I was like 35, man. I still feel like a 10-year-old, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like in a lot of ways, which in some good ways. Like I like climbing trees and shit. But I'm saying, like, most of us don't actually grow up or a little bit until our lives are like halfway over anyway.
Real spill. Like,
It's
damn.
it's it's all good, yo. It's the fucking hour went by quick. Well, it was weird because it was going by slow. I looked at the clock and then all of a sudden it like skipped by like 25 minutes. So
Word, man. Nah, man. I enjoy it, man.
this was a good
Hey,
one.
let's yeah, nah, man. And I feel it feels good to be back too, man. Like I literally since our last episode 2, which I loved as well. Um, I took a dip from Can you hear me still?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I took a dip from social media and all kind of shit. I just kind of like kicked back. I didn't work, you know what I'm saying? I didn't. I still work, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't do. I just kind of all the way. I say all that to say this, like I'm with this episode in this past weekend. It's really just me, just like, all right, man, let's get back to the doing the things I need to do and the things I love to do and stuff. So this is definitely I'm hyped to be back doing the show. That's the backdrop of my energy coming into my gratefulness coming into this episode is that like I really just stepped back and was looking forward to this for sure,
Yeah,
no doubt.
I could tell you step back a little bit, and I wanted to respect that. You know what I'm saying? That's so sometimes we need to do that. And
Right,
so
but like I'm just gonna since we here, I'm gonna break it down, bro. Like, man, it was some weeks before I realized that I wasn't like recognizing that I kept reliving the impact of the crash and kept having like I was driving around and little sounds that had me looking all like this and shit, and then so one night I was sitting there burning and shit, and I started tripping like on some Sixth Sense shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I like? Because I kept reliving the crash. I was like, but am I trapped at the crash site still? And my body's trapped in the car and I'm trying to figure my way out of the shit. And I was like, blood, I called my sister. I was like, sis, man, I'm tripping, man. Tell me I'm not in no, because I keep hearing the crash of the car and I kept remembering like the car was like, I was like this high up in the air from the impact before the car fell back down. And so I realized my sister was like, dude, you went through some shit and you're not even recognizing the shit. And so that's why I was just like, you know what? I just need to chill from all life for a second and kick back and just I started talking to some people and they're like, yo, bro, like you got like I started feeling like I was I was like it got to the point that I was like felt like some kind of shame from the crash and shit. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, dude, that's like some survivor guilt shit. It's because you wonder you're not dealing with it, but like you went through something that was potentially uh, deadly, and your body and mind knows that, but you not addressing that shit. And I was like, oh, so that's why I kicked back for a few days, for a few weeks, about 3 weeks. Didn't do no social media. Just try to be around a lot of family and friends, and then I hadn't been going to no meetings for a while, so I went to some meetings and shit. But yeah, that's what I did my time off, man, and I really was just like, and of course, like starting to treat my body like it was actually still healing and not all the way fucking healed. You know what I'm saying? So that was my time off, man, and that's why I'm so juiced to be back. And I figured this is the perfect place to say that shit because I'm not gonna say this shit. So yeah, perfect.
No,
You
I
know,
appreciate
why not air
you
it out,
sharing
man?
that. I mean, I'm glad, and I'm glad. I mean, number one, I'm glad you're better. I mean, and I'm glad I'm glad you recognized that. I'm glad I'm glad you got people in your life that pointed that out to you and helped you see that. And you know what I'm saying? And you took the time and did what you needed to do for self. So that's
Right
called
on.
Intelligence. That's called being an adult. So that's dope.
Ah, man,
and,
this adult shit, man. Can we get a time machine? I gotta do some of these 20s over.
fuck out of here. So, yeah, I want to say thanks. I want to thank everybody for rocking with us over the course of the hour, and it was, you know what I'm saying, a lot of good comments and dope crowd, and this is always important. I mean, we're gonna get this up on the YouTube. A-Plus is gonna get it up on his joint, so this will be out. You'll be able to see it again. It won't be on IG, but we'll get it up on the YouTube and all that stuff.
Yes.
We do this every third Monday of the month. So the past 2 episodes are up on YouTube. This will be up in about 3 or 4 days. It'll be on our pages and stuff. So look for that. The links for that.
The next episode that we do in a month from now, I'm gonna be on the road on your side of town. I'm gonna be out there on the East Coast, man. So I'm gonna be doing the show from out there. I don't know if we're gonna be in the same area at that time because I know you're coming out to some of the shows, but yeah, next broadcast I'm gonna be on the East
Let's
Coast.
try to do it live.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
let's try to do it together at the Connecticut show if we can.
Let's do it. I'm with it. Let's set it up, my brother.
Let's try to do it. I mean, I'm going to be at that show, so I mean, we'll talk a little offline about that. But
Word.
yeah. So thanks everybody for rocking with us, man. And again, we do this.
Hey, Marky Basie, Mark.
Oh, big up, Mark Love.
Wild Child. I see y'all in there. All my people, man. Love y'all.
Yeah, heads up in here. So salute to everybody rocking with us, and we're gonna keep this pushing, man. Very much needed conversation. So thank you very much, man. As always, you know what I mean.
Thank you. Take what you can, leave the rest. We just talking crazy, man. My brother. Let's
go. Whatever you just, if you got something from it, that's great. If you didn't, that's great. But again, hopefully you did. So, and we got something from it too. You know what I'm saying? A+, we living this life and we getting through it, breaking it down. We're going through shit. So it was
my brother.
Dope. So I love you, fam, and we'll talk soon. Be easy, everybody.
Love you too, brother.
All right, be good. Salute.
Peace.